This is the Velotric Nomad 2 fat tire electric bike, and today we're gonna review it.
Cruising along right here on top of the soft sand.
It's got a UL certified system, and it has something called SensorSwap technology, allowing you to swap between a torque sensor or cadence sensor. I'll tell you more about that in a few. It's rated for 505 pounds of payload capacity. They say it can tow 1,000 pounds. It's also got something called ComfortMax, which includes an ergonomic frame design with an extra wide saddle with a suspension seat post and an ultra low 410 millimeter step through frame, along with an adjustable stem and cruiser handlebars. And it's available in two sizes, regular or large. You can also get it in a high step frame or a step through frame. And you can see the current price of this bike linked below the video in the description box. I should have a coupon code down there to help save you some money if you do decide to buy this thing. So let's crack this thing open, take a closer look at it, then take it out for a full review, see what it's made of. You ready to build a bike, bro? The seat on the Nomad 2 is looking very wide and comfy. Everything we need to build it right here. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. And this particular frame ships in the cranberry color. This is the step-through variation, and this one is the large frame. So there's also the high step variation as well as other color options available in the link below this video. It also works with Apple Find My. I'll show you more about that in a bit. And here is the UL certification sticker right here on the frame. And that UL certification is basically an electrical and fire safety certification for all the electronics and the battery on this e-bike. Looking at the battery itself, we can see it is UL certified. Taking a closer look at the battery, we can see it is Velotric branded. It is a 48 volt system with a capacity of 14.4 amp hours, typical 14.7 amp hour, with an energy capacity of in the ballpark of 700 watt hours. So the bigger the battery, the more the range typically, but the more the weight with the bigger battery too. This one weighs in at 9.8 pounds, kind of like a middle of the road on range versus weight. We'll see how we do out there. And this e-bike is a hardtail configuration, meaning we do have suspension on the front, with the back of the bike having a rigid frame. However, we do have a suspension seat post, which I do not believe I have seen this one before, so looking forward to trying it out. So that suspension seat post isn't going to isolate the rear rack and the whole rear triangle from bumps in the road, but it will insulate the rider, and really, for the most part, that's the most important part usually. Also, since we don't have true rear suspension, we're gonna get a little better efficiency on range out of the battery, because whenever you have rear suspension, it eats up some of the energy of the battery and it adds weight to the bike. So we're gonna get this whole thing on the scale here in a few. So up front, we get a solid amount of travel on this front suspension, and this bike is running an RST Guide 32. And we will be running name brand Tektro hydraulic brakes. Let's check out those rotors. They appear to be giant. Oh yeah. So massive Tektro 203 millimeter rotors. These huge rotors give a good mechanical leverage. Basically, the bigger the rotor, the more mechanical leverage you get. 203s are great. It is a bolt-on style axle. 26x4 Kenda tires. I like these Kendas for their deep, knobby tread, really get good grip, especially in the sand with these. Suspension has a preload adjustment on the left stanchion, and on the right, you can adjust how firm or soft it is with clicks between. It's got an adjustable angle on the stem, so you can adjust it from 0 all the way up to 60. I'm gonna try about 40. Aim, fire! And that'll bring the bars up to a more relaxed riding position. The bars have a little bit of rise, and they sweep back quite a bit on the step-through frame. It's got Tektro hydraulic levers. It's got ergonomic shaped grips that are rubber and bolted in place. We have a thumb throttle on the left, turn signals, pedal assist, little M button, power switch up top. And over on the right side, we have an 8-speed Shimano shifter. And for the front wheel, we have an open style dropout. So front wheel drops right on the dropouts. I'm guessing the bolts are in here. Owner's manual. Tools. Nope, maybe they're in here. Display and headlight. Oh yeah, there they go. So front wheel bolts on just like this. And it comes with a set of plastic pedals. Not really ideal for some downhill mountain biking. You don't want them to crack off. But these plastic ones are a lot nicer if you hit them on your shin compared to metal. I can tell you firsthand. It also comes with a very familiar looking Velotric 3 amp charger. So to charge that battery, from empty to full would take about 5 hours roughly. And just like we've seen in the past, it has a wall mount, so if you want to mount this thing on the wall, that works. Around back, we're also running Tektro hydraulic brakes. The rotor on the rear is a 180 millimeter rotor, a little bit smaller than what's up front, which makes perfect sense. A lot of vehicles run a larger brake on the front because 80% of your stopping power comes from the front wheel. And taking a closer look at the rear, this is a 750 watt nominal, 1300 watt peak geared hub motor. We have the Velotric rear rack rated for 66 pounds of weight. It does have the Ebike HD mounting system. Connects onto the frame here and here. And speaking of connections, up here we have two here, maybe for a water bottle maybe. And up front we have the side style mounting points for a front rack. So we're gonna flip that thing around in a minute. I'll show you the other side. But first, let's weigh this bike without the battery on it. My weight is 192.6, and picking the whole bike up while standing on the scale, it is reading 265.8 without the battery. So right around 73 pounds without the battery, or around 83 pounds with the battery. And speaking of battery, you can charge the bike's battery through this little port right here when the battery's on the bike, or you can charge the battery when it's off through that port. There is a double wall guard on the chainring. It's a medium-sized chainring, probably good for some medium speed pedaling. And around back, we get 8 speeds on the rear cassette. Looks like a nice big giant granny gear for climbing hills, and some small cogs for high speed pedaling. And it has a Shimano Acera derailleur. Get a little rubber piece here for any sort of chain slap we might get. It's got fenders. So let's drop that battery in there. Fire this thing up in a few. But real quick, let me show you the dimensions of this bike. So the seat is on minimum height. I am 6'5", inseam 34. It's got the step through frame, so you really don't need to lift your leg very high to step through. Plenty of clearance, stepping on through that too. So very easy to get on and off this bike. Makes it just really manageable for getting on and off. I love the step through frames. And with the seat on minimum height, we do have the suspension seat post on there. So that suspension seat post will raise the minimum seat height a little bit. So if it's too tall for you, you could do a non-suspension seat post. The seat on minimum height on the large frame, you can get the regular frame, which makes the whole thing a little bit smaller. Here's what I'm looking like on it and what my pedal stroke looks like with the seat all the way down. Handlebars are raised up to about, 40-degree angle roughly. And let's see how high the seat will go up. So there is the minimum insert. It's got the easy adjust, quick release here. I am noticing the seat is very wide and comfortable to sit on. This thing is like a couch, man. So with the seat on maximum height now, hopping aboard. Whoa. Here's what I'm looking like. So this gets me in a pretty good upright riding position, and I'd say just about the proper length on the pedal stroke there. Nice upright, comfy riding position. Handlebars sweep back to help you stay upright for comfort. RST guide on the front is feeling like nice. Feels pretty solid, bro. And also I should point out on the bottom of the seat post, there is an adjustment for how tight or firm that suspension seat post actually is. So pretty sweet. And there is an app that you can download in the App Store. But before we mess with any of that, let's just try and power this thing up. Probably need to plug in the charger for a minute to wake everything up. Light is red, that means battery is not fully charged. It'll turn green when it's fully charged. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. So it says it was charging. Let me plug that back in and show you guys that again. So that's kind of cool how Velotric has the charging display screen. Shows you exactly where you're at. So about 4 hours until we hit full charge. We just want to fire this thing up, see what it's all about. So we get the Velotric welcome screen. I can't tell if there's any changes to this from the previous screens we've seen on the Discover 2. Looks pretty darn similar. Very nice readouts. Very user-friendly. Gives us our battery percentage listed at 63 right there. We get trail mode, and we can toggle through the modes with this little button on the bottom here. So you get boost mode, eco mode, trail mode, boost mode. And as mentioned before, there is a torque sensor or cadence sensor. So they call this SensorSwap. You can basically choose which one you want. I actually don't know how to switch it. Let's just try and hold the M button, see what happens. Nope, that brings us into menus. So speed limit is set to 20 out of the box. So you can have throttle or pedal speed limit. Kind of interesting, that's cool. Now the way I ride, I would just set both these on max, but let's see, how do you do them? Oops, messed up there, but we do get a turn signal. So around back, we can see it is indicating right. And you can bump that over to left signal. If you grab a brake light, obviously you get your brake lights. Holding the plus button should turn on the lights. Indeed, it's a pretty bright light. And in broad daylight, this is, the light's actually pretty bright. You can see shining on the box there. A lot of times you can't even see these lights shining. Here's a look at it from the front. We'll try it when it's dark. So here's the sensor swap thing, and you can do either torque sensor or cadence sensor. So that's pretty cool. I'd also like to point out you can swap the sensors by holding the M button while riding the bike, and it'll toggle on the fly while you're moving. Torque sensor, what that does is measures how hard you're pressing on the pedals and gives you pedal assistance in proportion to how hard you're pressing. Cadence sensor, on the other hand, so it says that with the cadence sensor, your battery consumption will be higher than with the torque sensor. With the cadence sensor, basically what that does, you get 5 levels of pedal assist indicated by colors. And as you dial it up, it basically will just give you more and more power. Don't matter how hard you press on the pedals. All you gotta do is just have them rotating to some degree, and you get power in proportion to the number. Other options in the menu are clear trip, screen brightness, riding mode, rear light mode, auto light. So there's like an automatic front light, rear light, auto power off, throttle limited, cruise control, connect to apps. So, oh, and the Apple Find My, so you can maybe recover this bike in the event it gets stolen. You can set your units, sensor calibration. So I guess that's for the torque sensor. You can actually, maybe you can calibrate your torque sensor, then version information. So let's see about the speed limit. So you can raise it beyond 20, all the way up to 28 for pedal. So with the speed limit set to 28, let's try the throttle. Let's try boost mode. Pedal assist 5, ready, go. So it delivers power, kind of gently, but pedal assist 5, ready, go! And it'll take us up to, it says 33.9 miles per hour, despite the limit being set to 28. I'll take it. So they have an app, I've used it before, it's pretty good. Let's add our new bike. I just had to scan that little QR code right there and name it the Nomad 2. Connects right up. So in the app, you have basically all the same settings as what we saw up on the screen. So I love that you don't have to use the app, but you can. You can do your different modes, screen brightness, pedal assist, as well as throttle, speed limits, auto power off, auto light, cruise control. You can select either torque or cadence sensor, units, and all the good stuff. I'm not a big fan of apps for e-bikes, so this one is optional and it's actually one of the better ones. All right, dudes, let's check out the Velotric Nomad 2. We'll track our range on today's ride. Fire this thing up. I think I forgot to mention there is a USB-C charger is down underneath there, like the new style charger for your iPhone and stuff. So of course we are on a full charge. Let's get out there and rip. So here's what the lights are looking like here inside the elevator. Pretty bright. And rolling through the dark little tunnel here. Easily adjustable, pretty bright headlight. So let's go ahead and give it a go at the 20% gray Nomad 2. See what kind of torque we're working with here. We'll go ahead and bump everything onto max settings. So boost mode, pedal assist 5, and we'll do throttle only. No pedaling, I weigh 200 pounds. Let's see how we do. And pulling us right on up the 20% grade. I'm not pedaling this thing at all. Perfecto. And we are still on the stock setting, so we'll unlock everything here in just a little bit, see how much more top speed and power we get out of it off the line. So for starters here, we're gonna start on no pedal assist whatsoever to see how this bike would be to ride if we ran out of battery completely. So we are on gear number 1 here. Good thing that Tesla's stopping. We can get rolling here. First thing I'm noticing, this seat is very wide and comfy. The riding position, very nice. If the battery were to die, I can pedal this. I can pedal this thing home. We're cruising about 6 miles an hour without any pedal assist. We are on the torque sensor right now. So this does have the SensorSwap technology. We can do torque sensor or cadence sensor. Let's try out the torque sensor first and see how that does. On eco mode here, essentially we're gonna have 15 levels of pedal assist on each one of these, torque sensor and cadence sensor, because there's eco, trail, and boost mode, and then there's 1 through 5 on pedal assist. So, if you want to really maximize your range and get like exercise, put that torque sensor on 1 on eco mode, and it'll just help you just a very little amount. The torque sensor gives you power in proportion to how hard you're pressing on the pedals. Obviously, as we crank it up, it should give us more power more easily without really trying as much. Now this one, I can tell it's gonna make me work for it, so I can get some exercise, save on the battery, get some big range out of this. So the maximum range on the Nomad 2 is actually 65 miles, and if you wanna hit that number, you should probably run this thing on eco mode, one of the lower pedal assist levels, and use the torque sensor and pump your tires up a little bit higher towards the max PSI of 30 PSI. I'm running 10 on the rear and 15 on the front. Now we're not gonna be riding this slow and boring today, so we'll crank it on to pedal assist 2 there. Just dials up that power just a little bit more, and pedal assist 3 on the torque sensor, eco mode. little bit more progressive power delivery. And we're on gear number 1, rolling at about 8 miles an hour. Let's switch it on to about gear number 3 there and crank it to pedal assist 5 on eco mode. So this honestly feels like, you know, just a pretty nice cruising pace. Like if you're just gonna go for a stroll around the neighborhood or something, just leave this thing on eco mode. It'll give you all the power you need. You can still get a little bit of exercise on it. Get a lot of exercise on it really, but let's go ahead and crank that down to say torque sensor level 2 and press this bottom button to switch it to trail mode, the next mode up from eco between that and boost. So on trail mode 2, torque, doesn't feel too much different than eco quite yet, but if you crank it up to 5, yeah, you can tell it's giving you a little bit more juice now. So on the stock settings, we'll be limited to 20 miles per hour. We're gonna unlock that in just a few. And let's see what happens on the throttle actually. If we drop it down to trail mode, pedal assist 2 on torque mode, just try throttle, see what happens here. So it gives us a little meter there for how much power it's giving us. That'll take us up to 20 and then back off. And now let's crank it all the way up to 5 on trail mode and watch. You can see the power meter. It doesn't tell you the exact watts. Not that any of these bikes probably know the exact watts anyway, but you can see it gives you a ramp up in power there. Now we're on purple in the trail mode and feels, you know, pretty peppy. So let's put it on the highest setting now, boost mode. Let's just start in pedal assist 5 and yeah, I can tell that is delivering the power very, very easily and we can just hardly even pedal at all on gear number 8 now and yeah, just reach top speed of 20. So I mean, if you're just trying to get out here and ride like a motorcycle, you can certainly do that with the throttle. You could remove the throttle altogether if you don't want it, but just pressing on those pedals. I like to try and pedal these things at slow speed and see how the torque sensor responds when you're just giving it like a gentle amount of power. You can see it's pretty good, man. Like if I just press a little bit, you can see that power meter going up just like a little bit. And then if I press harder, you're gonna see a jump, watch. Boom, yeah, so we got the rockets engaged now. And we'll try the cadence sensor here in a few. I just want to try 0 to 20 on boost mode 5 before we unlock everything. Ready, go. 7, 15, 19, 20. So really all you need on acceleration. But what we want to do is get into the speed limit and let's just increase the pedal assist up to 28 and we'll also bump the throttle up to 28. Those are the max values. And we'll try the SensorSwap as well. It's on torque sensor for now. We'll switch it to cadence in a bit. And I just realized I messed up. I didn't start the Strava. So we're gonna be off by about a mile or 2 on this ride. Just we'll add a mile on. Actually it says we did 1.5 miles so far and we burned 8 kilocalories. So this thing will keep track of your calories burned as well as CO2 saved. Apparently 0.5 kilograms. Oh, this is actually awesome. I missed this somehow, but it has the controller temperature as well as the motor temperature. So we'll see how those values are affected when we get out really pushing this thing out on the sand and climbing the California incline. So we are on boost mode. I have it on pedal assist 3 here. We're gonna take it off on my favorite off-roading section here. A little bit of mulch. So, you know, this isn't gonna be like a big time off-roading bike, but it does have the suspension seat post, which is really great in my opinion. I really like these suspension seat posts and it's got the RST guide suspension up front, so you are well insulated from all the bumps. We are running 15 PSI on the front, 10 PSI on the rear. That was the stock on the box settings of this bike and feel nice and just fine riding over all this thing. Now this bike does have turn signals. I'm gonna flip on my left blinker here and see about getting over just a lane or 2. Actually, we got a Beamer in a hurry to get to the light here, so I better turn that off. We'll go right, put on the right blinker, and we can remove the throttle to, you know, make this bike comply with the laws if we wanted to. Ain't nobody got time for that. So let's give this thing a rip from 0 to 20. Ready, go, throttle only. 5, 10, 15, and 20. With everything fully unlocked now, and now we can accelerate beyond 20 with throttle only. The sheriffs, are they coming for us, bro? What the heck, dude? It's another whale up here sitting on the bike path. What the heck is going on? Looks like he might be radaring. This might not be a good place to run our top speed today, or at least slow down before they can hit us with the radar, huh? We're just gonna pretend like we are pedaling and not using throttle like a good boy. I feel like these cops are like legit like following me right now.
Watch, one just went up there and passed me to the left, and I think there's gonna be another one coming here. You just bust a U-turn right there. They might be trying to catch me doing a high speed run here, I'm not sure. All right, we're choosing a different location, I think. Yeah, that cop up there, he's just like circling, dude. We're going this way. We'll just take a quick little pass here through the Venice Canal, shake them. And since this is only a 15 amp hour battery pack, this whole thing feels like a little bit more nimble than like a larger battery pack. And also it makes it so like actually pedaling the bike contributes more to extending your range and actually propelling the bike forward. Sometimes, you know, when the battery packs start getting too big, it really weighs the bike down. These little hills here are pretty steep. We're gonna photobomb this right here. Excuse me. All right, I think we're clear to do a high-speed run. Let's go for it. We got the GPS right here. Onboard is right here. I'm just gonna do throttle only because it should take us up the top speed, but that's 20, 22, 25. Still giving us full power. 26, 27, 28, 29 on the onboard, 27 on my GPS, 28 GPS. And right around 28, 29, still giving us, I think, full power. And then we have 8 gears, so we can keep up pedaling easily at this speed and actually put in a little bit of power of our own. Yeah, it'll get us up to right around 30 on the onboard and 28 onboard. Let's try the brakes real quick and cut in here. These Tecnos are feeling strong, dude. And as we're about to kick it out on the beach here, I think it's about time we swap it over to the Cadence sensor. Actually, real quick, let's just try and beast mode through this. A little bit of sand here, no problem on these Kenda tires, man. These deep treads on the Kenda tires are really knobby tread. SensorSwap that on over to chill mode, Cadence sensor, so that'll make it easier on us now. Also, as mentioned earlier, you could just hold down the M button and it'll swap your sensor on the fly while you're rolling. With the Cadence sensor, battery consumption will be higher than the torque sensor. Do you want to proceed? Heck yeah, we do. Confirm that. Now it says Cadence right there, so we know that. Now it's just gonna give you power based on if you're turning the pedals or not. So let's see if we start out in boost mode. Oh yeah, I'm not even like pedaling, I'm just rotating my legs and we can access all that power, man. This is the chill beach mode now. But now what we're gonna do is drop it down all the gears here and throw it on number 5 here. You can see that guy's pushing his bike through the sand because he can't do what the Nomad 2 can do with the thick 4-inch wide, 26-inch tall knobby tread tires with 1300 watts peak power. Mixed right on up that hill in the sand. What's up, man? How you doing? I'm on the new Nomad 2 right now. You're on a Velotric, right?
Yeah, I had to change the motor though, but it's been pretty good.
Did they send you a new one?
Yeah, new wheel motor, yeah.
Dang, man, I'm sorry that happened.
Well, it was, and I say starting again, after I do a long ride, I hope it does whine a little bit.
Oh, really?
Walking it. I don't know, but it's a 2-year warranty, so I'm not going to worry too much about it.
And dude, I gotta tell you, one improvement they made on this bike that I almost overlooked is the polarized shades, man. You can now see that screen through the polarized shades. I believe it used to filter it out, so awesome. Hey, you guys run some Velotrics?
Yeah, after you threw the battery in the ocean.
That's hilarious.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man? This is the Nomad 2, the brand new Nomad 2.
But yeah, you do pretty cool reviews, man. One of the reasons, look at this is from
yeah.
you.
How have you been liking it?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I love it. I mostly got it because I couldn't keep up with them on the streets. You know, we live in Glendale and we're in a hilly kind of town.
Yeah.
I couldn't with regular cruiser bikes.
Yeah.
My legs are just burning up, so I was like, okay, I kind of don't like that. I like the fat tire, and then I saw you review this one.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
The battery in the ocean.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of a crazy one, but I was like, nah, they say it's waterproof. I'll try it, see what happens.
Well, good luck, man. Keep up those videos, man.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a
nice
fan.
To meet you.
I subscribe, and
all right.
like I said, because of you, I got this.
Dude, we've got to be living in a simulation. I pull up here, have 3 Velotric bikes pull up to me in a matter of like 3 minutes. Like, what? Ah, bros, let's give it a rip in the sand. It's actually really windy out here today. Wind coming this way. We're running 10 PSI on the rear and 15 on the front, which was the stock settings out of the box. We're just gonna do throttle only right now, not pedaling this thing at all. And we're kind of just cruising along right here on top of the soft sand. And I'm gonna keep an eye on that motor and controller temperature as we go. So the deep tread on this thing really gives you a lot of confidence on the sand, and we're gonna hop on up this hill now. Cruising along, we have a perfect tailwind right now actually, and just kind of coasting along here very easily at 15. So very strong geared hub motor on this thing. Kind of curious what would happen if we turned around and went directly into the headwind, because I know we're getting a little bit of help from the wind there. And yeah, going this way, I can feel a lot more resistance from the wind as we're going into the headwind, but nonetheless pulling 8 miles an hour here on the soft sand. So doing pretty well. The temperatures are going to start to climb on that motor, and controller says 86 and 100. I'm just a little concerned that the wind might have been helping us too much, but even going into a headwind, this thing's doing just fine here. Temps are bumping up a bit. It is a bit chilly out here today. 113F on the motor, 89 on the controller, and I'm going to put it in first gear in case we need some gear, but I'm not pedaling, and just kind of cruising along here. Yeah, doing very well actually, very well. 10 psi on that rear tire helps you put that power down to the sand. Better than expected, to tell you the truth. And after that decent little rip, motor temp is at 120F, controller temp 96F, no sort of overheating or anything. Great. More police, man. There's so much police out here. More police. So let's run it up the California incline, 12% grade, 85-foot climb, see how she do. And rolling into the spiral section, we're at 132F and 96F on the temps. We got it on boost mode, power assist 5. Let off the throttle there just a second, pulling us right on up the spiral section without pedaling at about 8 miles an hour roughly. And for the main portion of the California incline, we'll drop that tire up against the wall there and mash on the throttle, ready to go. Showing 41% on the battery right now. Starting this climb off. 8 throttle only, 10 on boost mode, pedal assist 5. Maxed out settings, 13, 14, 15. Holding about 18 and climbing a little bit, gaining a little bit on the temps as well. 19 miles an hour. Not pedaling this thing at all. Obviously we could pedal and gain a little more speed. We're just testing the electronic components on its own and topping out right around 19 at the top. Now there might be a little bit of a lag on those temps, but it brought our temps up to 141F and 104F on the controller. So now we have that giant 203 millimeter Tektro hydraulic rotor up front, rolling on hydraulic brakes, and I can tell these brakes are really good, so I have pretty good confidence in them, yeah. So we're gonna do a brake test from about 20 here. I'm gonna pull on the levers without setting myself over the handlebars because they're strong. Yeah, that wasn't even full pull, man. So these are really powerful hydraulic disc brakes. We'll give them a harder pull this time. Yeah, that'll do the trick, man. So I like that they're doing name brand Tektro brakes now with that huge rotor up front. I mean, 2 thumbs up on brakes. And I wanted to show you guys the Apple Find My thing. So let's select Find My and select Add Other Item. Here we go. So now we press Find My, search. Oh, there we go. So connect up the Velotric. Connect, and we got another cop coming by here. All the police out here today. We'll name it Matthew's bike. Continue. So now, you know, in case maybe your bike gets stolen and the police won't help you find it, because let's be honest, the police are not going to help you find your bike. At least you can track it down with an air tag, because it shows you exactly where your bike is on the map. I can look on here and see we are indeed right here by the California incline, which is where we are in real life. Let's try the play sound thing. So it says play sound off, play sound. There it goes. So there's a beep coming from somewhere in the frame. Cool. What up? Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Check it out.
Oh, Velotric, dude, another Velotric. Are you kidding me? This is, dude, I swear I live in a simulation right now. This is the 4th Velotric person I've come across today that's like came up to me or like we talked.
Oh, you got the new Nomad.
Yeah, it's the new Nomad too, man.
I have the older model.
Yeah.
And this was like tears it apart. This was so nice.
We're gonna head on home, check the final range on this thing. We are showing right around 23% remaining on the battery, so I better dial this thing off boost mode, and I'll share my final thoughts along the way. You can check the link below this video in the description box, see the current price of this e-bike. At the time of recording, I actually don't even know what it is, but I do have a discount link down there, so if you do decide this is the e-bike for you and you want to help support my reviews here at Chao TV, just be sure to click on that link before you buy it and use my discount code at checkout to get the best price. Win-win situation, and of course I greatly appreciate your support. So final thoughts on this thing, man. They basically took a e-bike design that was good and have improved upon it. Now we get, you know, better tires, Meteor Kenda brand tires, name brand Tektro brakes with that huge rotor on front, RSC guide suspension, and then obviously the UL certified battery, which, I mean, some places you need to have a UL certified battery to even have one of these things in your residence. I'm pretty sure that's the rule for New York City. So comfy riding position, plenty powerful e-bike, rides on the sand well, those tires grip in nice and great. Really no complaints on this bike. Maybe the one trade-off I would say that you kind of have going on with this one would be battery size, the 48 volt 15 amp hour battery pack, but you know, the smaller battery pack compared to some of the fat tire e-bikes that'll run 48 volt 20 amp hour, or some of them even bigger, would be weight. So you know, this 15 amp hour battery pack helps keep the weight down, make this thing ride more like a bicycle, especially with that torque sensor compared to some of these e-bikes that have, you know, really big battery packs. Basically, the bigger the battery you get on there, the more lethargic and heavy the bike gets, and at some point it doesn't even feel like a bicycle anymore. It feels like a motorcycle. So a pretty solid fat tire electric bike. We're gonna head on home, see where we end up on range. More police. We are pedaling. Don't worry, bros. And we've definitely had to chill it out here, showing 6% remaining. Can we make it home? Another sheriff, another sheriff, another sheriff. There's a doggy. Hopefully that leaves. And we're almost back to the neighborhood, showing 1% remaining on the range.
So I ended up getting about 20 miles of range on this ride, which is the absolute worst case scenario you would ever get riding this electric bike. And the reason why I didn't do great on the mileage was because I did a ton of sand riding, and we rode into a headwind all the way there, and I never adjusted my tire PSI. We ran 10 PSI on the rear. We should be doing 30 to maximize the range, and we were doing high speed runs. So, you know, a lot of throttle, hitting 28, 30 miles an hour. So, you know, if I was riding, you know, like a normal person, not doing all this crazy stuff, I'd probably be doing about 40 miles of range the way I ride on flat ground, not riding on the sand and that sort of stuff. So in general, the Nomad 2, I think, is an excellent fat tire electric bike. And if you do want to grab one, use that link down below the video, buy through that link. It would help support my reviews and also get you the best price. However, if this is not the kind of e-bike you're looking for, watch this video, dude. Get you over there.